so we're trying to figure out the traveling into space. Let's hand this off to Akana. So she hands you the digital equivalent of reams of paper, which is basically like a crystalline cube about this size.
When I was in research, we called that the shoebox full of data.
A terabyte of data, which 1/6 of just the text of Wikipedia. Star Wars Day. No, that's very good. I like that. Where did my little camera go? Or the Hangouts? I lost it. There it is. All right, so Akana, you've been handed literally reams of digital data, and you need to analyze this to figure out both like the emptiest chunk of sky you can go into, but even more cogently, more importantly, like what kind of ship you can, or what kind of transponder you can pretend to copy that wouldn't be out in flight at that point, or maybe would be, but in a different part of the sky, something like that.
Well, actually, for that aspect of it, I might go back to the well and ask the boy genius for something else, because I'm thinking it would be, clever to try and just use something, a vessel that's currently, in the repair bay, kind of a thing. So in the transmissions, I'll look for something about coming in for repairs, or some kind of equivalent word search there to try and identify, a vessel that might be likely going off screen.
Okay.
And then,
you can certainly. I mean, you two can certainly treat that as being information that's in there. If that's what you want, like want to copy a busted up ship, that totally works. So,
well, I figured that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You said boy genius? What are you talking about?
Alir.
Alir's a girl. Isn't Alir a girl? I thought Alir was a girl. Is Alir a they? Is she gender fluid? Are they gender fluid? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. Well, if you don't know, then I'm going to say the answer is probably yes.
Looks like a girl in her picture.
I was going to say, but I mean, if the actual person playing them isn't sure which way it is, I think that's almost the very definition of gender. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The boy-girl genius.
In Alir's bio, she is a she.
Fine. You don't seem particularly emphatic about this, though. I mean, if that's your best assertion, I don't know. It's a she in the bio.
There was a mix up in the back to tanks one day, and after that, it was just like, yeah, we don't really care.
Whatever. You just need to get too worked up about it one way or the other. Okay, so
binary is so limiting.
Yeah, really. I mean, you're talking about a galaxy full of aliens. Really, the fact that humans are really about is it a he or she is like whatever. Man.
So that's the one aspect of it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Good. So one aspect is finding the ship, and then the second is finding the clear space.
Right, and that's all. I mean, go ahead.
No, go.
So I'm thinking, yeah, it's not really ship scout. I guess it's out of the box. I hate to give that to you because it's your best attribute, but knock yourself out. That's probably. Have I got a fly in here? Why do I have a fly in here? Shouldn't it be dead? So go ahead and do out of the box, but then we're going to add another one to.
We could use "I will deliver" as a pun on the fact that
sure.
I'm delivering.
You are literally delivering, and you get to add you can add an extra 2 onto it for the aspect that Alir is giving you anyway. Aha! Was not a. What that was. It's dead now. Doesn't matter what it was.
Dead now.
All right. So yeah, roll and add 2. What'd you get?
2.
A 2. So 4. That's good.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So the question then becomes, who do you want to? How do you want this flight to go? Is everybody coming, or are you just bringing 1 or 2 people to rendezvous with this thing and slip up out of there? You feel like you got the hole that you need. In fact, you're gonna give yourself a bonus on your next roll anyway for hotshot young ship captain just to get up out of here. But I don't know if you want it just to be you and 20 Imperials in the.
No, I would like a little bit of
backup. Go ahead and say backup. Things Hesmet should not be put in charge of: guarding the Imperials.
Yeah,
I have a perfectly reasonable idea of how to do it.
I was thinking of just shrinking them before we take off. Make it all easier. No,
I was thinking of clubbing.
Not clubbing.
Yeah. No, this is Hesman. I was thinking of clubbing them into blood clot-inducing unconsciousness and keeping them docile that way. No. Anyway. So who do you want to take?
Backup.
All right, take
if
backup.
He's available.
Backups available. Backups available. So Hesmet. All right. So.
Is there anything on the base that would be highly desirable to the ship that we're going to?
No. I mean, this is mostly base-related stuff. You're going to probably need the supplies that you have once people start showing up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And, yeah, there isn't really any... I mean, you've got... Alira has actually already gathered up and delivered some intel, like the first burst of intel, and is very shortly going to need to doctor up Hesmet's going to need to help with this, doctor up the transmission that goes to the Moff, the first transmission that goes to the Moff. So there's some stuff there as well. So, no, there isn't, other than the people, and that's actually pretty valuable because there's quite a few people there. Potential for gathering some intel from those guys during debriefing is pretty good. So.
Okay.
Back to boarding or whatever it is that they do for questions. Okay. Like that? Back to boarding? What's the water equivalent? I don't know.
Water?
I
guess water. Whatever. I
could just picture them just
Don't throw your science at me. Water is the same as water. Whatever.
Sticking somebody, just having them stuck under a bantha, until
longboarding
something happened.
I like longboarding. Anyway, it sounds disgusting, doesn't it? Okay, so Bill. So backup. I'm going to have you. So you guys get everybody. Actually. Let's see if we end up with anywhere. I just need to bring everybody's character sheets up and not have them ever go away, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth between these two screens. Backup, would you roll speak softly and carry a big blaster for me? I just feel like having you roll that for moving the Imperials into the. Oh, nice! It didn't even beep. It was weird. All right, so you get that's a 4 on speak softly and carry a big blaster. Well done. The Imperials take one look at your countenance and decide that they really don't want to screw with the veteran clone trooper.
And they're happy to be leaving Hesmet.
Honestly, even the muttering of
I can't see why.
even the sotto voce muttering of traitor is pretty subdued as they move out of the room.
Does Tor want to give them any kind of final send off?
No. He's not a vindictive sort.
No pithy robot gestures.
I'm lying. He's been screwing with these guys for like the last 2.5. So that's funny. Honestly, you killed the one guy he really would have liked to get some revenge on, so it doesn't really matter at this point. Doesn't really come up. Anyway,
It's not my fault. He got in the way.
Well, in the way of the walker that you were piloting, yes, I think that is kind of to some point on your head, or rather a sticky splotch on your metallic feet. Yes, you were involved in that. Anyway, all right, so they get back out there and backup gets them all filed into the thing, restrained. You time it for the time to take off, and we'll get back to you in just a second. So, Hesmet, Alir, and Ghana, all the kids. Now, how did the grown-ups end up piling into the ship and leaving the kids in charge of the base? That's awesome. I kind of love it.
I'm a grown-up?
Well, you're older than the other three.
That's scary.
Your age starts with a 2. So, yeah, you're one of the grown-ups.
That was so freaking scary.
You're not the one with the aspect on them of kids these days, but which would be backup. But so Alir. Oh, let me think about this. I need to look at Hesman's character sheet. So Alir, you're trying to pull together the information to send to the Moff. Huh. I gotta look at Hesmond over here.
Don't give me an opportunity to cause problems.
Oh, but I will.
Space Mom and Dad will not be happy when they get back.
I know. Space Mom and Space Dad. That's one of my favorite things about Rebels is that the fan base just refers to Hera as Space Mom all the time. It's just awesome. She's the best Space Mom. The nice thing is since we don't really have trouble aspects anymore, I can sort of compel any aspect, which is sort of great. Okay, so Alir has pulled together all this information. And she's brought you in because you know the Empire better than they know themselves. So it's a question of, you've got these examples of previous messages that have been sent to, I keep like stopping myself and thinking, I need to involve David in this too, and I remember he's not here. You've got all these examples of previous missives that have been sent back to the Moff, and the data that you have, and doctoring that up so it basically looks the same, but it looks, it's newer and blah, blah, blah. Alir's taking a stab at it, but she really wants you to kind of put a polish on it.
The same but different.
Yeah. Alir?
Yeah?
I would like to offer you a fate point.
Oh?
Because I feel like somebody who is a mischievous Jill of all trades and distracted by shiny things, sending this data off to the Grand Moff, you would not be able to resist putting some sort of Easter egg in the data. Maybe the first part of a Trojan horse virus that would then be delivered next week in completion. Maybe amateur Jawa porn, like embedded in the, like that only shows up after like a week, as like a virus, something that maybe hijacks all their browsers to send them to darknet sites. I don't know.
I like this plan.
You like the way this is going? Something that hijacks their email and makes them send spam messages to Emperor Palpatine. Something.
I very much like this plan.
or downloads all their email addresses back to you, so you can start sending them junk mail from an ousted Naboo princess who just needs 225,000 credits to get back onto the throne and make you millions. Stuff like that. I don't know.
I will take that fate point.
Oh, you'll take that fate point? Awesome. That's great. Now, she's not being too circumspect about this, Hesmond. She's been pretty straightforward about this plan of hers, of screwing with the Empire. I don't even know if you really need a fate point for this, but I will offer you on the grounds of you just like screwing with the Empire, and therefore you're like, yeah, sure, knock yourself out.
I was about to say, I'd probably figure out some way to make this better.
Yeah, well, for you're kind of like, yeah, I can make this look right, but you're also going to kind of see that you can't help but seed it with some, like the report with some false information. Like, even though logically it's the Empire reporting on the Empire, you just can't help but feeding them false intel. It's just part of you get swept up in the moment of screwing with the Empire, and you're like, why? You can't help but throwing a couple of seeds in there about the Admiral, like having a Twi'lek slave girl and 3 llamas delivered, directly to his command ship or something like that, just to screw with them off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add in some stuff that's, just pick out one person that I really don't like out there, and just
some lieutenant whose name you know.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna set him up to be clearly communicating with the Admiral, even though he isn't, kind of thing.
Yeah,
is that where we're going on that?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be he's just going to have communications with the Admiral where it's just like, oh yeah, that governor.
This is your opportunity for vengeance. Is that what?
This is why we can't have nice things.
No. This is
You couldn't have left us alone.
This is why we can't have a nice secret base.
This is petty
Can we
vengeance.
keep it for more than a
Not
week?
You haven't been gone 2 hours. What are you talking about? Hang on one second. Very warm up in here in my office, so get some airflow going. Okay, right then. So that, you guys, basically you're looking at that, and you're both looking at it and then you see Alir's hand go up and go plink, and then you both go like this and high five each other without looking. As he hits send and then smack.
Yep. I think there may be a bet in here. It's I bet you we can get them into a fight within 2 weeks.
Some sort of shouting match, something. At least.
It'll be on the HoloNet. Somebody will have camcorder footage or something of it.
Alir's yes, next week I will hijack their webcams. I didn't put that in this one, but next week I will hijack their webcams. I will start writing that code now.
So she's going to write a tracking program for senior Imperials and distribute it, and we'll call it Pokemon Go.
Wild Skywalker appears.
I only play the serious character. Sorry.
Nice. Okay. It's fair. They're all walking around, swiping at their comm panels, trying to capture Leia. Okay, so wait, what is my back up? I don't know. Honestly, as well as you guys rolled, I don't even think you really need to roll for the Imperials. There's a you do need to work quick, but your cover story is sound, and you're able to jump away without any problem. In the ship's in dry dock, so there shouldn't really be a problem with that either. There's one question. It's I thought you were, our reports show you down for repairs. No, they fixed it. It was just a fuse. Oh, all right, carry on. Right, jump. They're not. I mean, it's an Imperial ship. How worried can they be? So that you guys jump away to the. I need a Rebellion cruiser name. I should have looked that up ahead of time. Or did I tell you that? Did I tell you what that was going to be? I can't remember if I did or not.
I don't think so.
I was wondering if I made it up already, and I don't know if I did. I am so good at this. I am so good at this game.
I do not see it in any Dave's notes.
No, I don't think so either. Let's see. Rebellion cruiser name. Randomly point at list of Star Wars spacecraft. Oh, come on. Those are like just the classes. That's not any kind of fun. I need actual names.
Fury of Ryloth.
What's that? Fury of Ryloth?
Or something along those lines,
Yeah. You know what?
You appeal to patriotism.
Yes, I like that, and we can get a shout back to Errol at this point. We need, it's going to be the, the Queen of Naboo. We're going to go with the Queen of Naboo. It is not in any way, shape, or form. No, I take that back. It is a Naboo. It's a liberated Naboo cruiser, so it's pretty. It's not super combat capable, but it's pretty, which is why it gets. It's really nice for shuttling things. Nicest prison ship you'll ever be on.
If it's named after like Amidala, that Queen of Naboo, it should be combat ready. I'm sorry, but
right. No, it's sort of it's been renamed the Queen of Naboo. It was a General Naboo cruiser. Let me just look up one. There's an image out here that I can use for it. It's probably going to look a lot like. Oh yeah. That's old. I like those though. Those are really cool. All right. I need that, but not so silvery.
they're all silvery. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they all are, aren't they? So we're going to go with, oh my God, yeah, my Stars and Garters. I got to tell you, Akane, you're going to be drooling. No, see, I don't want that. There's one that kind of looks like a B-2 bomber, and it's pretty sweet, but I kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't see a better one though, so we'll just go with that. All right, so, oh wait, did I see one there? Well, that's pretty good. I kind of like that a little bit. Well, we'll go with that. That's pretty sweet. View, let me get this thing up here so I can share with you guys. Ew, photo bucket. Now I feel dirty. Oh, for Pete's sake. Seriously? Save. So, Errol, who isn't currently with you guys' group anymore, this is like one that he liberated from Naboo itself and then renamed. And they shot down his first two suggestions, so it ended up with Queen of Naboo, because Naboo must be free is a little bit long on the transponder code. And that was his first. He was like halfway through saying that's what to name it, and they were like, no, no, no. Back that up. We know you're going to say that. Ships. We'll save this one here. Seriously? Go like that. What? Let's see if this actually works. Right, there we go. Okay, cool, sweet. Sorry, this is taking a while, but it's really worth it. Totally worth it. I have to be able to show this to Akana so that she can drool appropriately. I have so many subdirectories underneath my Star Wars directory, it's not even funny. It's just crazy. Okay, that'll work. And the very pretty cruiser. It's been patched up some, but they're doing their darndest. Let me see if I can move that around a little bit. Too many other screens open. There we go. So it's a good sized. It's a good sized ship. It's about the size of the Tantive 4, you know, kind of thing, like Leia's ship or something like that. These are rare. It'll be very sad when the Empire inevitably catches this thing and blows it up, which they will do. But for now, at least, quite pretty. I just sworn I had a name for it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you send the appropriate code. I mean, there's initially a couple of like warning lights of you being targeted, and actually they keep targeting you, as well as the escort ships continue to target you all the way in, even though you're sending the appropriate codes, because you still look like a Imperial cruiser.
I am an Imperial cruiser.
Or Imperial shuttle. So regardless of the fact that you have the right codes and you were kind of expected, they still kind of like, yeah, we're still going to kind of keep guns on you.
I won't take offense at it.
Just
as long as they keep their trigger fingers.
Right. So you get in there. They don't have much for you at this point in time. They received word. They're not high enough up the chain to have been the people who received the intel that you sent. But they are very glad to receive these prisoners of war from you. And
we are very glad to be rid of them.
Be rid of them, yes, indeed. You can see the Imperials are kind of like looking around, like looking at this crazy ship, and like they're expecting the rebels kind of to be on like garbage scows and retasked water haulers. And while you have those certainly within the rebellion, this is actually quite an impressive little thing to land on to go, well, crap, look at this.
A little demoralization is good.
Yeah, always good, always good. So is there anything you need from us immediately that we can give you? We don't really have much to spare. And in fact, Akana, actually back up too, looking around, there's a bit of show here because they certainly endeavor to look
fully staffed.
Yes, and they're not.
We do that.
The ship itself is functioning on what you would guess is probably a skeleton crew, with a few extra key officers. So you've got like an intel, somebody who's at least working as an intel officer to receive these guys. You got a couple of guards and stuff like that. But as far as the ship's crew go, they are working with probably a third of the manpower in the docking bays that you would expect. Certainly the thing could accommodate, and you can only imagine that the rest of the ship is probably working it that same way. I mean, you were only targeted with about half the guns on the thing, so it's like walking into a super target and they only have 2 lanes open. I mean,
normal.
Yeah, exactly. They can do business.
No, the not normal is that they only have 2 lanes open and they're not. And the lanes aren't backed up.
Yeah, that's the abnormal thing. They have 2 lanes open, and then you have all the self-serve that you want, and that's in the form of droids. So they're not very well staffed on people. They do have a lot of droids, but the droids are all like just going hell-bent for leather every which way. I mean, really, it's kind of what you guys think to ask for. They might be able to spare some stuff. They'll do what they can, certainly. Because potentially this is a really good get for them, this base, if they can get it. If you guys can get it really rolling.
I think we're more interested in personnel than supplies, honestly. And they don't have to have them on this, but people who can process and make use of this intel that we're gathering, that's the key thing
Right.
that would be useful.
Well, I mean, and you need actually. I don't know if you had the mic or had the speakers on when you were doing that when I was saying this, but I mean, there's maintenance necessities. You kind of need 3 or 4 like maintenance droids just on the SIG array just to keep the thing kind of functioning at tip top, and that's just remotely. Forget about at your base. Scraping together enough droids to do some of the work you need to do is going to be a challenge, even though you've got like kind of 3 or at least 2 channels on planet right now for them.
How are we doing for money?
Not really. You don't. I mean, let's say you were going to get 5 droids. That's anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 credits. You don't have that. I mean, functionally, you've got. I mean, you were dropped in with supplies and whatever money you had on you. Probably between the 5 or so 5 of you could probably scrape together enough for a droid. But you can trade. You could barter.
It's not just that. It occurs to me that we have a great opportunity for arbitrage here. So if we have a channel for moving people and cargo in and out of the system, unmonitored by the Moff and the Admiral and the Empire in general, we have a funding route.
Yeah. So you've got I mean, this is a good thing to kind of propose to that person that you're going to make the deal with. Because the thing is, so here's the thing. You've got your person back in IZs who may or may not have droids that you can use or materials that you can use and stuff like that, but you're not going to have the money. And they tend to work in money because they're business people. But if you can work out some sort of trades, like, listen, we know how to get it on and off the planet. We can smuggle stuff, or rather acquire and bring in stuff, or bring stuff out, or anything like that. So we can be your pack mules in exchange for, we will work for these products that that you can use. We'll owe you.
So what we're doing here, in that case, what we're doing out here is establishing the first part of that pipeline.
Right.
Just, hey, we're going to be getting some stuff.
Rebels working with smugglers is a tried and true, as is going into debt for things that you need. That is tried and true techniques of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, so the bad
that didn't work out so well for him.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's a canon idea. So, that's absolutely.
It does sort of fit my own, capabilities.
We don't have. How to put it this way? We don't have fungible. Is that the word I want? Credits available. Fungible would be like just random. They don't have disposable money just to throw around.
Right. Like
our petty cash is 2 socks and a quarter.
Well, they have cash. It's been earmarked specifically for certain kinds of purchases. If you can acquire that from the people, we could be the people that are buying from the people that you could be shipping from. So this could benefit us in a number of different ways. If you can use it as a way of gathering resources on planet, that's fantastic. You should totally do that. That could be the purpose of it, the beginning and end of it. On the other hand, if you can also acquire certain things that we need, then we might be able to be the endpoint client for some of this stuff, depending on what the people can get from Onderon. Onderon's value, aside from its primary value to the Empire, is its placement. It's in the inner rim. It's where like 3 or 4 different interstellar routes come together. So from its biggest value is location. Its on-planet value is in raw materials. So it's not like it has a lot of big manufacturing industries or anything like that, but it does have some raw materials. There aren't a lot of like sort of mining concerns or anything like that going on, but they are around. Mostly it's a location thing. So you're not going to get a lot of huge stuff, but salvagers, can always use more droids, even if they're 20 years old and got some blaster marks on them. Which, to be fair, Onderon does have in some surplus, because there's been a lot of fighting on Onderon for a long, long time.
Well, and we have some personal capabilities for creating some repairs So
yes,
we can take things in less than stellar.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you can. I mean, scavenging through scrap heaps and so forth is great. You know, you still have to pay for that stuff. I mean, yeah, you could probably get a droid's and a half's worth of parts quite easily for the money that you have. It's just you're going to have to then put it together, make a being, so to speak. You know, protocol droid, something really useful. Anyway, no, not going to make a protocol droid out of scrap. Anyway. Okay, so with that, yeah, no, that plan's in place, and they may not be your contact here, but certainly High Command will be able to help you arrange for that sort of thing going forward. And honestly, if you can get on and off the planet reliably, that'll be enough. We can figure out dead drops on nearby systems. I'm not going to pull up the star map right now because, well, wait a second, maybe I can. It's right here. Where is Onderon? I want to say it's over. I can never find that one. Yeah, there it is. So you've got Kuat. Well, Kashyk's not going to be a really good. Although
the fur trader is excellent.
Kashyk's kind of a hot spot right now. It's not the place you want to be dropping into, but I mean, you've got Kuat, you've got Corellia kind of nearish by. I mean, everything's kind of close to, well, a lot of stuff is kind of close to Onderon because, as I said, a bunch of different routes come through here. So if you're going to jump over to another system and do a dead drop for other people to pick up, that's not difficult. Asteroid belts are plentiful. So anyway. Okie doke. All right, you guys pile back into your ship. Unfortunately, deadheading it back to the planet because you don't have anything really to drop in there, but off you go. And that's about that. I'm going to hand wave forward just a little bit and get you guys back home because I don't think there's anything especially. Well, you know what? Why don't you kind of give me one more roll just of your hotshot young ship captain as you come back into this, jump back in the system.
Ooh,
I like that.
I thought you said I had carryover.
You had carryover going out. Well, I didn't have your roll. Well, the problem is you're jumping back in and you're kind of landing in certain
Right.
heavily scanned areas and that sort of thing. Succeed at cost? He said hopefully.
What were you thinking?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm just wondering if you know it succeed. There'll be some repercussions for your success going forward.
I might consider it if it didn't.
Vader's sitting on the cruiser saying, "No, let them pass. Let them back onto the planet, but track them. You know, whatever." That's success at cost. That was Han and Leia succeeding to get onto get on the Endor moon at cost. It's not going to be Vader. I promise it won't be Vader. I'm not going to hit you with Vader for 1-0. Come on, do it.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a fun little glitch with the ship. In that, well, there's some sort of short in the panels and all the hacking and rewiring and jury rigging and so forth that you've done with the electronics to make this thing, the transponder codes, flippable, I guess, swappable or whatever.
Right.
Is that occasionally when you come, well, actually, you're going to have to do a little bit of testing to figure out what happens. I will tell you what happened. I'm not going to tell you why, because it's one of those things where at this point in time, it's an unreplicatable error because you've only had it happen to you once. You need to figure out what exactly caused it. But what it basically boils down to is as you drop out of hyperspace, the transponder code resets to the original.
Okay, briefly.
Briefly. And you're like, it's like, it flips over and it's like, bleep. And you're like, what? Why is I can't remember what, the name of the ship starts with an N, but the original name of the ship starts with an N. And you're like, why
No.
The thing is, reading is right on top. Oh shit, that's me. That's me. God damn it! Flip, flip, flip. You know, kind of. Yeah. And so there's a moment of. So the guy on the comms comes up and he says, "What did you end up naming the ship? Just tell me. Like, what was the name of the actual?"
The original ship was the Nylos. You mean the one that we?
What was the name of the ship that you are copying to? As you're flying in and out of here. Take a pick. Doesn't matter.
The Bragan.
The Bragan. Shuttle Bragan. We're reading... is there an error with your transponder? We were reading a different ship on your location. Do you have any visuals out there? We're reading only you now, but we were reading a different ship just a moment ago.
Well, you know, I just got out of dry dock, so I don't know what. Maybe they messed things up in here. You want me to crawl around and pound on things? I don't see anybody out here. It's just me in the stars.
Right.
Want me to run some diagnostics?
No. Transfer security codes. Just, you know, it's a standard. It's the same we're leaving.
Okay.
So you transfer those. And there's a long pause. And you're just kind of like, I'm just keep swimming.
I have my finger on the button of, because I'm one with my ship, I get a +2 when overcoming system problems with the ship. I'm captaining.
Perfect. It's perfect. Actually, it occurs to you to actually, because you basically got three settings right now. You've got original, you've got the current transponder, and you've got transponder off.
Right.
You could like actually flicker the transponder off a couple times so they see it kind of.
I like that.
And like, oh yeah, I've definitely got a short in here. Oh, they didn't even ground this. Hang on a second. And just kind of flip it off, and then wait a couple seconds and flip it back. Say, okay, yeah, there was just a wire short in here. I don't know why I was showing you the other one, but that's definitely what was. I got to talk to the guys in the repair bay. You know, that kind of a thing. You want to go like along.
Well, and I can actually like drop the name of where I was supposed to be. You know.
Oh yeah.
Those darn guys in Base 7.
Now that will just so you know, that will burn this transponder ID as being useful, because as soon as they go and check on those guys, they're going to see that chip with that transponder is sitting there.
Yep.
Well, it may not. It's just going to cause a lot of confusion. Well, we might
have caused them grief,
because they're going to walk in. They're going to be like, "Are you already fixing the transponder?" Like, transponder? No, this is like an engine coil. What are you talking about? Well, you were just out when you jumped back in. What are you talking about? This thing's been. The engine is literally sitting on the deck here. It isn't flown anywhere in 3 days. So that'll be, yeah. But you
basically. Where is your transponder?
Yeah. Well, it's right here.
Are you sure?
That's fantastic. Okay, so yeah, that caused, and they're like, oh yeah, right. Yeah, you should definitely get that looked at, Bragan. All right, proceed to planet. And you kind of pull down through the app. Meanwhile,
bragging out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, backup is manning the one gun turret on this side. It's not even a turret; it's just like the chin-mounted guns. Like you're gonna have to face whatever you're shooting at. Okay, so you head down the planet. As soon as you get low enough, you flip the transponder off and read as nothing. It'll read like to the ships up above. It'll read like interference from the forest, the jungle, and whatnot. If you get low enough, and then you can kind of flip around and.
I'm
ease your way. You take a circuitous route.
Yeah, I was going to say, taking the long way home.
Yeah.
Sorry, backup.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Waiting for the satellites to not be passing over the base before you land and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, right. The fact that thing showed up as a ping will come back around as an interesting twist later. Actually have something in mind. It'll be awesome. Mostly for backup, not for anybody else. Everyone else will think it's horrible. Everyone else will be like, what the hell did you do? All right. So, What for Alir and Hesmet? What all were you guys up to? Well, that was probably a day of hacking fun, and another day of sitting in the mess hall going,
Giggling.
like just thinking about other things that you could do with the signal next week. It's like maybe we could send them bonus intel, like send them another one. Then we won't have to wait till next week to send them more stuff. No, that's bad. That's actually a bad idea, because then they'll know that we don't want to do that. Yeah, but we could do. Oh, that is a really cool idea, but no, if we send it now, if we send anything else, then they're going to know that something's up. No, we can't do that. Although, no, you're right. We can't do it. They've been talking each other out of this for like the last day. But what else have you guys had any other little pet projects to do around the base or anything like that? Tour is also here if you want to query the base expert. He does not comment on your hijinks. Not that he would necessarily know about unless you guys are actually sitting around the mess hall. Alir's fun with the mess hall has been basically like finding every possible seasoning in the mess hall. There aren't many. And then trying to apply those to the standard rations to see if any of them make them more interesting.
Yeah, all 4 seasonings do nothing.
Yes. Yeah. You've been able to make a couple of the packets unpalatable.
Just still a step up.
You've
Which I then carefully save for later to give to the adults at some time.
You've added enough seasoning to them to make them interesting enough to not want to eat them, but that doesn't actually make them good or even better. Just different. But other than that, any things that you guys wanted to do while the doing's good?
Man, don't want to cause too many shenanigans while they're gone.
You have already had your shenanigan quotient for the day.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be one of those things where it's just like, has been sitting in the cafeteria while they're gone. And it's just like, boom, boom, catch, boom, boom, catch.
Well, you could take 3 grenades and rig them into 1 big grenade. Something interesting like that. I mean, that's always playful fun with explosive is always a good Hesmet special.
Yeah, but you can only do that for so long without exploding.
Or running out of grenades.
Yeah.
Which is, the other problem. All right.
Yeah,
well,
I
Scaring the lizards.
I didn't want to set any booby traps while they were out because then they might stumble upon them, and that will really make backup mad at me.
Well, you can set up stuff to arm booby traps with, and then give them or share them with backup for placement purposes so that everybody knows what they are. That would be useful.
Okay. That sounds like a thing then.
Do you have a role for that? Do you have a what's your explode? Of course, you have a role for that.
I was about to saboteur and demolitionist.
Yes, roll that. Let's just find out what your saboteur and demolitionist. That's quite lovely. Okay, so yeah, you have an attractively arranged pyramid stack of explosives and other dismaying things to put on booby traps around the outside of the base.
Yeah, each one of the explosives has a post-it note of where it's supposed to go whenever it's ready.
Yeah. Okay, backup has a comment. I'm waiting for this one. Oh, we found backup's poetry. Oh, I want to see those. No.
Yes. Yes.
Someone like that. That's a little bit more cyberware on his face than I was really expecting. But
it's a mask.
I'm just feeling like these kids these days.
Oh yeah, the kids these days thing. For those of you who aren't playing Overwatch, that's one of the characters from Overwatch, and I know Bill is. So.
At 76.
Oh my God, Bill, do me a favor and share those share them whenever. I happened to see it during work hours, and I was literally in my office trying so hard not to laugh out loud that I actually had tears running down my face.
I'll dig it up.
That thing that you shared, it was really funny. I kind of hurt myself trying not to laugh at that. I don't know what it was that initially sent me off, but it was pretty funny. It's also exactly my experience playing that game. you share another one?
No, that was it. That's
Oh yeah, the other thing. Oh. Which honestly, if you don't play Overwatch, is probably not that funny. But the basic idea of the image, for those of you who aren't playing Overwatch, is that your team are just a bunch of idiots, and the other team are gods that have no business even in the match with you. It's the guy playing Reinhardt is physically nailed to the objective and always has his ultimate ready. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Anyway, all right. So back to the thing. So you find yourself, and for some reason, I'm picturing the scene in the Serenity movie where they're all piling onto that like hover ship to like head into town to rob stuff right at the beginning of the thing. But anyway. Really, the next thing would be to head into IZs and make various connections and whatnot while you're in town. So it's shopping spree in the capital city, guys. Who does anybody not want to go for whatever reason? Because you want to do stuff around the base.
I think once the Imperials are out, backup's pressure is going to be a lot lower.
Yeah.
So that's.
Not having to worry. I mean, you probably want to leave somebody around the base, but you could leave Tour. I mean, he could.
That's pretty much what I had in mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to set up some sort of like? I mean, it's going to be there's no way you can have a really direct link to him that far away. Well, no, you probably could, but it would be a bit of a modification to your head array. If you want to have like a direct line to him. Otherwise, he can. I mean, you got to keep it. Anything that's not just a direct, like sort of backup to Tour link is probably going to be too easy to trace, or at least backtrack to this base.
I think just that much is probably good.
What's that?
I think just that much is probably good.
Okay, so who's it? It would be Hesman. Maybe it would be the wiring person for something like that. Not really.
You want to just say it's done and go?
What's that?
You want to just say it's done and go?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to think if we have somebody poking around in your head.
Probably 2R.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. As long as, yeah, we can just go with that. You got yourself a link there.
Okay.
Not something that's up all the time. Something for emergencies only. Right. So the question then is, do you fly the... what do you take to town? You've got a Kana ship, which name suddenly escapes me. Starts with a K. The Kiss. You've got a Kana ship. You've got the shuttle, the Imperial shuttle, which may be a little hot right now. Or you could all just kind of fly in on speeder bikes. You won't be able to bring as much back, but you weren't really thinking about grabbing a bunch of big stuff anyway. I mean, odds are you're going to have, bundles of jury rig like netting saddlebags full of droid parts likely, and that's if you have a good trip. So, does that sound good? Bikes?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody specifically stay at the base other than Tour? No? Yes? No? Hijinks.
It's probably a better idea if I did, what with the, bounty and all, but I think I'll go.
On the other hand, you do need fate points.
I do need fate points.
Going into town is always NK credit bounty. If they figured out a way to cash in the bounty on you, that would be an excellent wad of operating money.
I could escape, and that would raise the bounty.
just keep turning him in, and then helping him escape, and just keep collecting the bounty. That would be y'all should think about it. That's actually sort of a joke as you're getting, if you guys turn me in for my bounty, we'd have all the operating money we need for buying droids that we could. And you kind of stop right about there because it's you realize that's actually a pretty good idea and you're not 100% sure you want to keep pushing it forward.
Oh, no, it's a great idea.
It's a fantastic idea. No.
I was about to say, come on, guys, think of how notorious I will be after this.
Could be worth turning me in. Something to think about. Something to think about for next session. How to get Hesmet caught. We can't just get him caught. We need to turn him in so we can collect the bounty, but it needs to be somebody that somebody doesn't know. So
I have this weird, like Clint Eastwood version of that idea now, where he's lined up, the firing squad is ready. There's like a force field that he's standing on, and then we shoot at the force field generator from half a mile away. He falls through. We fly past and catch him.
Nice.
You can't shoot him, but same principle.
Yeah, same basic idea. Super fun. I like that. We might have next session scenario. We'll just start with Hesmet already in jail, or somebody dressed up as what was the name of Leia's bounty hunter? Both? Like her fake bounty hunter ID? It was a B. It was a B name for sure. Boosh. Boosh. That's right. Boosh. Bosk was the one I was thinking of, the lizard guy. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, so much crap up in the space. What is going on? Anyway, yeah, Boosh. Yeah, get a Lear dressed up as, a grizzled bounty hunter, a grizzled 5.5 foot tall bounty hunter, bringing in Hesmet. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Anyway, so heading to town. Off through the thing. And here's Dave, just as we head to town.
Oh boy.
Perfect. Ideal. Okay, so shopping list for town, or rather to-do list in town. We have, starting with the ones that I actually know about, backup meeting with, what was her name? I actually have this somewhere. I wrote it down. Kavia Slen? Meeting up with Kavia Slen, the salvage entrepreneur in the capital that originally got sold tour to the lieutenant in the first place. She might be useful for a couple different things. So
if Akana's not doing anything more useful, she's probably the character to work on the smuggling pipeline as well.
And she might actually be the person to talk to Kavia. I mean, Kavia might be the person to talk to about that as well.
Yeah, this seems like a good introduction to make.
Right, and then we have. I kind of want Hesmet just randomly wandering around town, but if Hesmet wants to do something, you could make contact even with the old Resistance and see how they're doing. And then Ghana has a
shopping date.
I was going to say meeting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. Dave, I have to share with you that I completely. Apparently, we've identified that a Lear may or may not be just sort of androgynously or fluidly gendered, because Margie was referring to a Lear as the boy wonder, and I'm like, I thought it was a girl, and a Lear's play, after some consideration, responded, I don't know.
So it's not so. It's very little boy, and we're very much wonder, because we're And then, like, the only argument she could make for a Lear being a girl was, well, the bio says it's she, so like, it's like saying, well, my driver's license says girl, so I guess I'm a girl. Okay. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting development for a Lear. Get that in there as an aspect, and we can use that as a disguise bonus. Anyway, okay. So that, and what was the girl's name? It starts with a V. Can't remember. We'll do her last. We'll do that last.
Barala?
Mishra. Right. The actual Imperial officer, well, Imperial, yeah, I guess officer, lower grade officer, for the Admiral, but apparently her deal is that she does planet side to fleet liaison work and transport work and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure officer is really the right word, except it's one of those things. She's a pilot. She flies around ships. So by definition, she's got to be, she's an officer by virtue of being a pilot. But it could be like, lieutenant 3rd grade or whatever. She's not an officer. So let's do, well, first of all, is finding Kavya. So what do we have with, we need to actually kind of figure out, because she sort of moves. Her business is such that she doesn't, you have to kind of know how to find her. So I'm not sure if, well, back up, what do you think? Are you the kind of person to, do you have something that's appropriate for streetwise, like ear to the ground? I'm looking for somebody who might be able to find me some, droid parts missing the serial numbers, or is that somebody else's gig?
Probably somebody else's gig. I think the closest that I would get would be uncertain loyalties.
Right. I mean, once the meeting has begun, it's easy enough to do, speak softly and carry a big blaster, but walking around like that's a good way to draw attention to yourself.
Yep.
Akana, do you have a smuggling, thing? Or is it more that you're the hotshot pilot?
If this winds up being me.
Say that again?
I don't have anything specific to that. We've usually fit that under, if I agree to a contract, I will deliver. But we don't have anything specific.
You have probably, I mean, she's not a criminal, she would say.
I'm just drawn that way.
She's not exactly 100% on the up and up. We don't really have good. We don't have a scoundrel.
Actually, I'm the one with the bounty on his head, so I think I kind of fit there.
Oh, that is a good point. You certainly, yeah. I mean, this is the kind of person that the rebellion, or the resistance, I should say, certainly would have worked with in the past. Why don't you roll me your +1 10K bounty and growing?
That's growing still, so.
It's growing. It could get, bigger.
And you know what? I will throw out a fake point for it too.
Oh, will you? Okay, good.
So,
I'm glad to see that those fate points that I'm giving you for making really poor life choices are able to
paying
come
off,
back.
as it were.
that they're going to benefit you. That was the other thing you missed, Dave, is since the adults, and Akana was appalled that I called her an adult, but since the adults had left town, or left the planet to deliver the Imperials, the kids, Hesmet and Alir, were left with easily compellable aspects and the job of turning in a report to the Moff. So that report had some interesting hidden qualities that may or may not come to light later. But on the upside, Alir and Hesmet both have more fate points than they did. So when things do go in the crapper,
so something about hut porn.
Yeah, something about some sort of browser hijacking thing going on. Hesmet unable to resist putting in false information about stuff that's being delivered to the Admiral's ship. They're making side bets on how fast they can get them actually in some sort of open feud or fight.
if you can get two Imperial officers to get into a fist fight, they've done your job for you.
Right. Absolutely.
And we need to set up cameras to make it go viral.
That's your job.
Yeah, you've got to start. You got your next intelligence delivery has to also hijack their webcams. All right, so location. Yeah, you can get the location, her current location. She's. Let me do the math on this. So so she'd be in her 40s, I guess. ish.
Oh, ancient.
Well, I'm just trying to do the math on this because she'd be, so she was an active soldier during the Clone Wars, or she was active serving in the Clone Wars. She's a veteran, which was what, 19-ish years ago? Not quite now. Not quite 19, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, early 40s, something like that. Okay, so who's going? Ghana's. What are you doing, Ghana, around town? Are you going to go to this thing, or are you going to go and try to meet up with Varala?
Well, I need to go meet with
Varala.
with
Okay.
Varala because that's
Right.
what we had arranged.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Was there anything that? Well,
Your deal
there
was
some.
She was.
Yeah.
Your deal was that she thought you might be able to finagle a maintenance droid or something like that and hide it sort of in the inventory.
Right.
Since she has some disposable income for picking up supplies and stuff like that, it would chew up like a month's worth of this discretionary cash for the supply run. But you might be able to get a maintenance droid, and you need a handful of them at least at the base. So anything you can get there would be good. Anyway.
And there was talk about like shopping at technology
Well,
shops,
yeah,
stuff like that.
Tech shops and all that kind of good stuff.
She promised that I would have a good time. So.
Right. So you're sending like basically a text message kind of thing, and she sends you like, I don't think the Imperials have emoji, but she sends you an address, like looks like a store address in the business district to meet her at, and off you go. Before we get to Kavya, Hesmet, what are you doing after you talk to those folks? Are you going to try? Are you going with? Are you going to?
Well, I figure it might be a good idea for me to go with, since I kind of found the thing. But
that's a good idea.
If I'm not needed though, since we are kind of low on funds, I could try to see what I could do about that.
Okay.
There are always nefarious things needing done in a large enough city.
Interesting. I like that. Why? I'll come back to you. Think about what you're looking to try to line up, and or just figure out if you're going to be rolling that 10K credit bounty and growing it again instantly. And if the number's low enough, things might develop there too. Anyway, all right. So that leaves. Go ahead.
Say, Joyce, do I have any family-ish?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you? Tell me.
Or any of the family touching down at.
They wouldn't be family because you're in a gravity well. They wouldn't, but they, certainly. Well, they
might be on planet for trading.
Land cousins. Well, trading is tough on Onderon because it's basically under Imperial blockade for all. It's not really under blockade, but it's pretty heavily. And your people aren't criminals as such, but they're kind of like Romani in Europe in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So
we're morally flexible.
Well, no, I'm not saying anything about how they are. I'm saying how they are perceived by the authorities. I don't want to disparage your folk, but I am saying that, when it comes to the authorities, which the Imperials certainly are, they're pretty straight-laced. Your people are definitely not. So they would be, it's always harder doing business in an Imperial controlled system. Sometimes unpleasant and sometimes dangerous. You end up with bloody noses and broken broken arms and dislocated things and damaged wares. Yeah,
well, that's
that kind of thing.
good.
Imperials are, yeah. So, but I'm not saying there aren't, but if I'm taking all that into consideration, think about that for a second. See if there is somebody here in the city that you might know.
Okay.
All right. Alir, are you going with backup so you can play with the tech, or what do you want to do?
I'll go with backup.
Okay.
Yeah. with the tech, and because
take me to the tech.
Fangirl squealing might occur if I went with other people.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, backup's like looking around. Everyone's sort of distributed and finds a Lear standing there going, "Take me to the tech." There you go. So backup. When you walk in, I mean, it's 9:30 and my brain's. But for all intents and purposes, just begin by imagining Watto's shop. And we'll work from there because it's basically like a big junk shop, lots of parts everywhere, that kind of thing. There's a woman behind the counter, but she's kind of like working with this big, there's a bunch of pigeonholes back in the back with parts and stuff, and she's pulling various things down into this big old rusty wire basket. Just a second, I'll be right there. Just need to grab this before I forget the parts that I need for all of that one, and this, and that. She looks in the basket, and perfect. And she turns around and sees backup and drops the basket, and crap goes everywhere. She's just a shocked, like, eyes wide, mouth kind of open. Sorry. Actually, the first thing she says is like, oh, and then she kind of like gets it under control.
Sorry, I have one of those faces.
You're okay. You're younger than your brothers these days, and you look like someone I know. Several someones, but someone specific. It's easier when they all have wrinkles and pot bellies now. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm Kavya. And she extends a hand. Comes around the counter.
2941, but you can call me Backup.
Backup. Good name. And you tiny little person?
I'm Lear.
Lear, it's good to meet you. You two, you know what? I don't need to know. What can I do for you?
Together they fight crime or commit it.
Commit. Definitely commit.
He's a clone trooper lost in time. She's a hacktivist with a penchant for boredom. Together.
Say that there was a ship that was heading out system and maybe coming back.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe had some room in the cargo bay for some stuff.
Okay.
Maybe had some people where that ship was going that might want to take some stuff out of the cargo bay and put some more stuff in.
She gets her eyes kind of narrow. I'm sorry, I don't know any ships like that. I'm sorry, I can't help you.
No, we might have.
I'm a legitimate businessman person.
No, that's fine. Well, we might know of such a ship, and we're also in the market for some droids.
I love Backup trying to be indirect.
No, she's got a different kind of. This is where confusion's kind of. You're working independently? You're not with the... You can do that? That is really, and she picks up a pipe and starts beating like what looks like an old like chest piece for a protocol droid with this pipe. That is really interesting to know that you don't actually have, that you could choose to not work for the Empire, and you could have stayed, and instead you didn't stay because you said you had to go, and that's fantastic. That is really, she sets the pipe down, kind of throws it. That is good for you. That is great that you are.
I got my hand on my gun at this point. I'm just trying to play it cool, but
the guy she's just kind of over there just. That is just great. No, that's great. I'm really happy for you. I think that's I would like to help you a lot because, sorry about that. I hope you didn't want to buy one of those. What did I just, oh God, that was expensive. Okay, right. So, and you're looking for some droids. Well, you know what? Let's start with the droids because that sounds like a safer, what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
We might have some specialized equipment that needs to be maintained, and a droid would.
So you need maintenance droids. Okay, well we can. I can certainly do maintenance droids. I've got some, and she shows you a couple that look like they're pretty well intact. They're in, I would say, Jawa dealers on Tatooine levels of condition. So they're not pretty and shiny, but they're, together.
They at least sanded off the scorch marks.
Yeah, these all work. They're pretty good asking price. What's your pocketbook look like? This one here runs about $5. This one's $450. That one I can give to you for about $350 because I'm pretty sure its motivator's blown, but I can give you the motivator. For the same price. You're just going to have to put it all together, or you can pay me for labor, but honestly, that's not a good idea if you have anybody who's any good with parts.
I'm going to name a number for her that will put a disappointed look on her face at first.
Okay, so yeah, that's like, we've got 300. I've got 300 available right now. Okay, so I've got this bin in the back. It used to be a watering trough for the local, and it's full of parts. And I have got 20 credits riding with a bet of a friend of mine down the street that we could build a droid out of it if we got drunk enough. And I can give you that for 300.
And to Alir, I'm just going to see what you can do.
Okay. Yeah, so Alir, you want to go in the back there and see if you actually think you could build a droid out of that?
Sure.
Why don't you just, you decide whether or not you could. I don't think, or you could just wander in the back and not really have a good answer for him because you're distracted by shiny things. But we're just going to go back there. Or you could talk to her about working it out. I mean, she goes, "Do you have anything?"
Well, that was the next part of the conversation. Was
all right.
We were kind of hoping that we could maybe establish a bit of store credit on the strength of some future business in import export.
Okay. All right. This the stuff that you need to have them working on, the maintenance on, is it local? Is it in the city? Is it elsewhere?
It's elsewhere.
So yeah, I mean, I like this import export information. I've got a few things that I think would sell a lot better if they weren't here.
And tax free as well.
That yes, free of Imperial entanglements would be generally just very good. We could set up a little bit of credit. I think if you agree to do the work required to pay off the thing, then yeah, I think we could do that. Presuming you don't swallow a blaster bolt. Just decide you need to go off with your mates and not come back ever. That would be fine.
Bitter much?
I am so glad that at least Margie finds this this woman's implied backstory entertaining.
I think one of these days you're going to have to tell me about this, but for now, yeah.
You know what? I've got a bottle that the whole story is in there sloshing around, but it requires it all needs to be poured out. Okay, so yeah, we can. I can get you. Well, let's not worry about that motor one. I can get you the two, and I'll throw in the bucket. But so I've got some things that could be moved off. I can't get them. I don't have them here. That's not a good idea. But I do have them, and I would like to get them off planet if you can. I've got a buyer. in Corellia that can use it. And if you can get it there, if you can agree to get it there, then we'll be square. We'll be pretty close to square. Actually, how do you feel about a job that's a little bit more local but not local, like out in the undergrowth, so to speak?
I'm listening.
Okay. I have a lead on a couple of, actually 3 skyhoppers. You familiar with skyhoppers? I mean, you know, they're atmospheric craft, probably, you know, kind of a thing. So a couple of 3 rich boys took them out on a little joyride around the through the jungle, shooting at local flora and fauna, and apparently crashed them rather spectacularly, and then abandoned them. So they're just sitting out there, and I happen to know right where they are, but I can't get them. If you have some way of getting them, I'll let you keep one.
I think as a gesture of goodwill, I think I could certainly take that on.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. That might be another way for us to get kind of square. I like the smuggling idea. That's sorry, she wouldn't have said that. I like the import-export idea. That's real good. We might be able to do a little bit of, you know, long-term business. And I don't use the phrase long-term around that face very, very freely right now. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, if you want to sit down and talk about that someday, that might be interesting. I won't bring the pipe. That seemed to make you a little bit nervous there.
That'd be good.
But all right. Yeah, that's okay. Alir, why don't you give me I don't know. I think, you know what? I'm just going to say you're going to want to grab that bin and just make a project out of it and see what you can do. It's like, I don't know if can you make a droid of it? I don't know, but I want to try. Can I have the whole bin? Can I have the bin? Wait. You have to put it in like netting or something like that to put it on the back of the speeder bike, but but yeah, between all that, you might be able to get 3 droids out of this, maybe. They're going to have their own little special quirks and features. But yeah, you're going to need a couple more speeder bikes here. Let's look at which one we got. Hesmet, why don't you? Why don't you give me a roll on your bounty? We'll call it your promote. Okay. How about success at cost?
I will totally go for success at cost. What's the cost?
Well, I think the cost is going to be that you pick up some people who recognize you and you're trailing them. Are they trailing you, rather? But you can sort of lead them. They're not ready to do anything about it, but you're pretty sure they recognize you with ill intent. And so basically the success here is going to look like you moving up the timetable on that whole captured and collect the bounty thing. Or, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is basically what you're going to be doing next session. But you basically can lead them back to the other folks and then, I guess, mug them, and then bring you in for a thing. Hey guys, I've got a plan. Can you set your blasters to stun and meet me? Actually, where are you? I'll come to you. But seriously, blasters on stun.
Is there like an alleyway somewhere nearby?
There's definitely an alleyway somewhere nearby. You know, or you could just go stun grenades yourself. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, just come in with everybody and be like, hey, can back up? Can you come meet me at such and such alley and bring your rifle and, you know, be a good shot like always.
I have an idea. It's a bad idea, but
oh no, it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
What could go wrong?
Oh God, we're all gonna die. Anyway, we'll just. Actually, I think we're going to start next session with that particular thing. It'll be a Hesmet Palooza. Okay. Meanwhile, Dave.
Yes.
Again for the awkward. So the address she gives you is like a sort of coffee shop slash like internet bar, sort of. It's just like an
internet cafe
internet cafe. Kind of not really internet cafe, but it's like it's a street side coffee place, sort of. And she's at one of the like sidewalk tables and does this thing, waves you over. She's dressed out of uniform again, and this time it's like the previous outfit that she was wearing was like not a uniform, but kind of looked uniformy. This doesn't. This looks like spa day. So like wedges and like capri pants and a halter top, not a halter top. Whatever, halter top. I don't know what it means. I'm sure it's playful. Anyway, her hair's up. Casually up though, not up. Not like Leia up, not Amidala up. Just Star Wars.
Complete with little hairpins and
Star Wars
face makeup.
She's flying close, but not too close.
Yeah. She's flying casual, but not too casual. She's not doing an updo that requires like some sort of anti-grav bobby pins like Amidala stuff. And this is roughly the era of the middle three movies, which means that she's limited to only two like hair buns of some sort. You only get one in the first three movies. Second set of movies, you get two buns, and then now with the three movies, we get three buns. So Ray's got like the three things. So just every time they add a new trilogy, you get an extra set of buns on all the women's hairdos. Observation that my wife made. It goes like one bun, two bun, three buns as the generations move forward. Anyway, hi. Comes up and gives you a little hug.
I give her a friendly pat on the back.
Yeah, great. So, hi. I'm glad you were able to like sneak in from the jungle.
Yeah, just in town with some friends and wanted to.
You have friends you made friends at the.
Colleagues.
I was going to say, speaking as uptight, completely unfun Imperial, we don't really make friends. I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, although you once you get past some of the white plastic face stuff.
How far past the white plastic? What's her name, and should I be jealous?
Oh no! No, I mean no. All the ones that are. Well, I suppose there are some girls that are wearing the helmets, but it's mostly boys that are wearing the helmets. But it's an interesting group of people.
So you're not interested in the girls wearing the helmets?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the helmets.
Okay. Okay.
But they're all nice.
I'm not sure what that means. They're all nice.
Well, I mean, there's kind of helmets, and then there's helmets that where you're interested in kind of how they've been put together and how they're made and what they may be hiding. Mysteriously.
I have to give you so many props for like the unintended, actually intentionally doing the unintended double entendre, which is at some point in time, depending on how you count it, a quadruple entendre on your part. Well done. Just well done. You know,
it helps being a guy who's usually clueless about things. So
exactly.
I'm just playing to type.
Dave is rolling his own aspects into this. No, I feel you. All right, so she says.
So, but you look nice. I mean, I like the outfit. I mean, that really.
I like that. I like that statement because I understand that statement, and what you said previously, I do not. I'm not sure I understand it, but that's okay. Thank you. You look lovely too. Less greasy, but still, you're adorable. So,
thank you.
Drink, stimulant beverage, or shopping for neat, nerdy machinery and writing checks on the Moff's checkbook.
Ooh, boy, that's tough. I mean, I'm big into stimulation. Especially in the morning hours. Although sometimes at night.
Oh my God.
I don't know who's laughing more, Doyce or Catherine.
I am dying. I'm on mute.
But I mean,
Mike, I think you killed.
Technical devices can be stimulating too.
You know what? I don't know if I need any more liquid stimulant at this point.
Okay.
Let's just. And she does her little arm thing. Shall we go? Let's go shopping.
Let's.
Okay.
This is exciting.
It is really and mildly confusing. I like how she's kind of like blatantly like, seriously, okay, the double signals, you're kind of freaking me out a little bit.
I'm also expecting backup's going to be awake at 3 a.m. with like the one light on the base on, still waiting. It's like, well, where are you? Go ahead.
That's great. Okay, so you guys go and hit a couple of legitimate, like,
You're on mute.
go ahead.
I was just going to say Dad's waiting on the driveway with his spurs on.
Do we have, like, some way that we're recording this so that, like, Lyra and Nakana can watch this?
This is, I don't, see, I gave you multiple opportunities because Ghana was in the base with you to say, what are you going to do during that day? And one of them could have been setting up an on-off switch and record capabilities on Ghana's comlink, and nobody said that. So opportunity missed. Now you know. Although you will certainly have the opportunity again after Ghana recounts this next thing. Anyway, so okay. The shopping goes quite well. I mean, there's a couple of legitimate droid folks. She goes, I think we're going to have to go for something used, really, because otherwise the price is just going to be way
That's
too
okay.
low.
I mean, I'm good with my hand. I can fix whatever.
Okay. Let's just table that for a second. I love it. It's great.
Okay.
I need a minute. Let's because frankly, I'm not sure I can keep up. You're very good. Okay, so she gets you into like one of the used droid places and does a bit of haggling for like one of the R3 droids, the R3 line, which is basically the R2s, but the dome is transparent. Oh God, I don't know. I'm sure I've got one floating around, a picture of one floating around, but it's like orange. The body is like got the orange patterning. There's a transparent dome on it, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. She goes, and she manages to get him down to like 500, but it's it's running around. It's actually working in the shop, like doing stuff in the shop right now, so it's clearly functional. Complete memory wipe, and Bill ready with the droid picture.
Nice,
So
nice.
Yeah, very good. That's perfect. Ideal. Just exactly the thing.
Cool. I love the see-through. That's great.
Yeah. No, that's really, I mean, you can see when they motivators.
No secrets. I mean, it's all hanging out there.
You're killing her. And me. Okay. So 2 hours, we'll get the restraining bolt on, do a complete memory wipe, and have it ready for you for 500. Well, it's for her, but I'm paying. I'll handle this. We'll get it on the accounts and stuff like that. Then it'll show up. I tell you what, I'm going to pick this up in a couple of days, and I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in on the next delivery. So I'll be back in a couple of days. Time with the wiping, make it a deep wipe. I want to make sure this thing has absolutely no residuals when this thing gets to where it's going. Restraining bolt? We want a restraining bolt, right?
Yeah. I just use a normal seal on it. Nothing, nothing permanently embedded. In case we need to do something with it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's entirely up to the new owners. Absolutely.
I mean, restraints can sometimes be nice, but I don't want to commit too much to it.
She like actually puts her hand over your. So, you've got my number. You've got my comm. Contact me. Phil's just like, oh my god.
I was just like, finally.
I'll be in my bunk.
No.
I gotta look at. I clicked on the wrong link and now I can't see. I clicked on the wrong one and now I don't know. I don't have it. Oh my god. Okay, so she literally drags you out of the store. Listen, I've got to go. You're adorable. I'd like to do this again when we're not shopping. I think you want to do this again too when we're not shopping. I wasn't, I feel like we have a pretty good understanding here. So, when can you make it back into the city again?
I don't know. I'll have to check with the duty roster and see when I can legitimately come. Now you said you're going to be out at the base in a couple of days.
Well, when our normal delivery, that'll be in like, if you can you wait a couple of weeks for the droid, or do you want me to go back in and tell them that you need it sooner? Because we can do it today. Because I won't be out there. I can't go out there again for another week and a half.
Ooh, I'd love to be able to bring it back today if we
can do that. We'll just retcon that you're gonna come by for delivery. Okay, well
that'd be great.
I will see you in a week and a half. But can you come back into the city before then?
I'll check.
All right. So here, the private comm number. Let me know. Don't use my regular one because that would be awkward. Don't do that.
Okay, cool.
Or you leave a message, and she gives you like sort of like essentially an electronic PO box kind of place to leave a message. That'd probably be better. I'm not supposed to have active communications between the base and Moff's orders. You already know that. So yeah, just
of course,
all that kind of stuff. But this is I'm sorry. I should have planned more time. Didn't have anyway. You're kind of. And she sort of like comes in really, and you're trying to figure out what the heck she's doing. She sort of like cups your face and gives you a sweet kiss. And then she kind of like steps back and smiles and bops you on the nose. You're just adorable. And she kind of hurries off. And you're left there. What?
Wow, these city folks are interesting and so friendly.
Well, she's from the city too.
No, she's Imperial. She's like from off planet.
Yeah.
She thinks she's found a cute little adorable local girl.
She is a cute little adorable local girl.
She is.
Just
once you go Onderon, you'll always be Fonderon. I don't know.
Don't.
Okay.
You're just gonna hurt yourself. Just little pop on the nose. You're great. I'll see you soon. Call me. No, don't call me, but call me. Right around the corner. Blows a kiss.
Aww.
You're gonna feel so bad when you have to blow up the Imperial cruiser in orbit while she's on it.
Aww.
Anyway, so
she's not bad for a enslaving domineering Imperial type of person, I think we could be friends.
Maybe they just kiss on the planet that she's from. Maybe that's just how they say goodbye. It's
Well,
like aloha.
Yeah.
Wait till you find out how she says hello. It's basically the same word, but the pronunciation involves a lot more. Never mind.
Lingual dexterity.
Yeah, she is a cunning linguist. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Not really. I would like to apologize.
Just remember, Catherine, la, 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 la. You can't hear this.
I would just like to apologize to Catherine on behalf of really everyone in my generation, but mostly me and your father.
Yeah.
Who, honestly, he should be the one that should be apologizing right now because that whole stretch right there was great. You know what? Yeah. All right. So I don't think that counts towards your making connections with the locals, Dave. I know that was. I was thinking more bonds with the local villages and not so much
bonds.
You know, Bralla was hoping, but yeah, it just didn't quite happen.
Bonds with the local villagers, not bondage. So.
No restraining bolts.
Crossed Stars. You really need to read that YA novel that I was talking. Lost Stars. It's actually not at all bad. So, funny story about that. Did I tell you guys about that book? So it's set in the. Actually, it's interesting because it begins, I would say, in about this point in time, with the two main characters being about 8 or something and wanting to be Imperial, and they train and they do the whole thing, and they're present during a lot of it's sort of almost like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern thing, in that they're present for a lot of the events of like the main the original 3 movies, and all this other kind of stuff, and so it's a YA thing, you know, they think of themselves as just friends, and then they're attracted, but so it's totally a YA thing. And then they end up on the opposite sides of stuff throughout the second movie and the third movie. Like one of them's on Hoth. They're both on Hoth on opposite sides of things. But they know each other so well that they're able. Like one of them's able to tell that the other one's still alive because of the footage of one of the starship battles. Like nobody could fly that ship. You know, like that, but them like that, and so I know they're still alive, and all that stuff. And it goes all the way through to actually explaining the big Imperial cruiser on Jakku. Like that's the last big scene is one of them intentionally crashing the Imperial ship on Jakku to keep the rebellion from capturing it, which is great. It's really neat. We were listening to it on audiobook. My daughter and I were going to class, but she was heading off on a long vacation with her mom this weekend this summer to Europe. And so I set up what I needed to set up so that she would have that audiobook with her on her iPad for her trip so that she could listen to it. And because I had already heard it, and we were listening to it for me the second time. So, and I figured, it doesn't matter if I have to keep up because I've already heard it. So when she gets back, we can just listen to the rest of it. She gets back, and a couple days have gone by. I never really asked her about it. I said, "Oh, hey, we're driving somewhere. We could listen to Lost Stars. Did you? Where are you at in that? Did you listen to it at all?" She says, "Yeah. I listened to it, and there were a couple scenes in it I wasn't entirely looking forward to listening to in the car with my daughter. Kissing scenes. Anyway, wasn't bad, but wasn't really looking forward to it." And I asked her if she'd gotten, if she'd listened to it at all. She goes, yeah. I said, are you done? Yeah. I listened to it 3 times, all the way through. I'm like, on the trip? Yeah. Like, when did you find time? Well, I listened to it like at dinner, things like that, when everyone was getting bored. She basically had the thing like looping nonstop for the entire trip. So if you happen to be the right age slot, it was a very entertaining book and well written. Anywho, so there you go. That's my Star Wars media recommendation for the week. What did you link here, Dave? And I'm almost afraid to click on these links now after that. Oh my God. Actually, fairly accurate, except for the anime part, but yeah. Very nice. All right, I think we're about done. That's why I allowed myself to go on a bit of a tangent there. At least I'm about done. If I can make another media recommendation, because everybody needs more television to watch, and if you haven't watched it already, Penny Dreadful is delicious. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it, but it's basically the television version. No, this is not fair. It uses some of the same public domain properties that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen used, but to an entirely different purpose of making the horror horrible again, rather than sort of having wacky steampunk hijinks. And it's just lovely. They just did a wonderful, wonderful one. Timothy Dalton as Mina Parker's dad, trying to find her after the events of Dracula. And who's the other? Dorian Gray isn't. Dorian Gray makes a cameo appearance. Oh no, I didn't just say that.
I think we watched a few episodes of that.
They're quite good. Victor Frankenstein is in it as one of the characters. You might have watched, like, the first one's pretty good. I was watching the second one going, okay, this is pretty entertaining, and they got down to the last 2 minutes of the episode, and it's kind of like, oh, they're just talking, they're chatting, and then this thing happens where and it's like about midnight, I'm watching this, and all the lights are off in the house, and what I said, Catherine, cover yours, was I was in the complete silence and darkness of the show. I looked at the screen and said, what the actual fuck did I just see? Because I totally didn't see. It would be the equivalent of watching a Western and everything is wrapped up and people are kind of like getting ready to get back onto the stagecoach and telling each other what they're going to do with the money that they just made from their little adventure, and then out of nowhere, Darth Vader cuts the head off of one of the people and steps into frame, and you're like, what? So at that point in time, I realized I was pretty hooked. Fun show. Anyway, if you are so inclined, it's quite entertaining.
It's on my list to see.
It is quite
It's
good.
on my list too.
Yeah. Also, Billy Piper as a sort of a, I don't know what to call her. She's dying of consumption, but other than that, she's quite spunky. She's fun. So you need to see Rose Tyler in yet another show. You got that one.
No, I really don't.
I don't know if it's. Oh, now don't be like that. I don't know. It's Showtime, so there's a bit of skin, but just fair warning. But it's good. Pretty fun. Yeah.
I think you mean it's Showtime, so there's a bit of clothing.
It's not quite that bad. It's not like HBO. It's not Game of Thrones level by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay,
it's good though. It's good stuff. It's fun. It is a little bit blood. There's a couple of friends of mine I won't recommend it to. I've got a friend who really likes shows, but he really, truly, and it kind of surprises me a little bit, doesn't have a stomach at all for, like, the ultra violence.
So are you saying you're not going to recommend it to me?
No, I think you would be fine with it. You have a stronger. No, okay. Let me put it this way: you, pregnant, had a stronger stomach for this stuff than Tim does. Like Tim can't watch Daredevil. He can't watch Jessica Jones. It's just right. It's just right off. Nope. No. He's good at Flash. That's about where he draws the line. He just doesn't. I don't know what. He just doesn't like it. Anyway, all right, guys. Lovely session. Quite fun. There's so many fun things. I'm looking forward to the discussion, to the scene with Backup and the art and the scrap dealer and Hesmet. Oh yeah, next session. Hesmet has a horrible idea. Has a brilliant, horrible idea. So you guys might not be leaving the city immediately anyway. We might instead.
Or we might be leaving it faster than expected.
I might have to do some research, maybe rewatching the original animated Fox, animal version of Robin Hood from Disney, just to do a little research on the breakout scene, of the rescue from the prison scene or something.
That's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah, but I came into the house from work and my wife had queued it up and the kids were watching it, and they got into the. And I remember this as a kid. We lived out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't really have, we didn't get to the movies a lot. But what my folks did was they would buy those books that basically had every freaking cell from the movies with the dialogue written on the bottom, and then they had a double-sided record or two that had the entire audio track for the movies on them. So you could listen to the movies and flip through the book along with the movie. And there were certain movies that we had. So it was like Lady of the Tramp, Aristocats, but Robin Hood was one of them. And I distinctly, we had that movie, we watched it a number of times too, but I distinctly remember the scene where the snake is trying to whisper to Prince John and tickling his ear with his tongue, laughing so hard I cried every single time we got to that scene. And I walked into the house and they had just gotten to that scene. And my son was rolling on the floor, clutching his stomach, gasping and trying to go, stop it, pause it, like he was begging my wife to just pause it so he could get his breath back. So apparently finding that funny is genetic. So, because, yeah, it floored him right to the ground. Anyway. All right, guys. Who is next week bad for somebody? Next week is bad for
I'm out all next week.
All right, Bill's out next week.
We should be okay.
If you have non-backup shenanigans to do, please feel free to do so. I will not be bothered by it.
All right. I will ponder that one way or the other, figuring out what to do there.
I don't know that we want to go through Hesman's horrible idea without backup's firepower.
Well,
on the other hand, that would be more amusing, perhaps.
if we,
where the hell did backup go? We need him.
We need backup. No, literally, that person named backup. What the hell? Freaking false advertising. If I can think of a really amusing reason for him to not be around, we'll go with that. We'll see. And if not, we'll do something. So we'll see. Maybe I'll finally get Mike back up to that freaking haunted mountaintop thing and see the other thing that we were doing. If I can.
I have a clock to play with up there.
You do have a clock. Well, no, I think you figured out. Well, no, you figured out that the clock was a really bad idea. Yeah.
That doesn't mean he won't do it.
I was listening to
bad ideas.
I was listening to somebody in a an actual play, not really actual play, but like a sort of a recounting of it, and they had played through sort of that scenario, but they were doing it with Dungeon World, and one of the guys wanted to play a temporal mage, so basically a time mage who already has weird crap going on with them, and time futzing factors hugely in that thing. So yeah, things got pretty paradoxy pretty fast in that one. So that was, and you're magically a magical mechanic, so you can also screw with stuff because hooray, clock punk. Anyway, all right, I will talk to you guys later.